What is going on, you guys? I'm slightly pissed. I'm not gonna lie. I'm the first freaking podcast. I'm down $10. Don't really want to
Give me
talk
my
much.
money.
I mean, I'm happy Matthew Stafford won. That's my Detroit baby, and Eminem was there and he killed it. But for it being the first podcast and I'm already down $10, I feel like I'm gonna lose a lot more money. Brandon, I mean, good pick, I guess.
Hey, thank you very much. I knew my boy, my dog Matthew Stafford would have it. Bengals had a nice little Cinderella story, but it wasn't going to happen. It's not their year. They're going to be back though. They're a solid team. They'll be back.
I mean, maybe. I think this was a chance. I think we're going to talk about it. I mean, I think in order to get to that point, we kind of have to recap what the hell happened with everything.
Let's do it.
Like key moments for you. Like what were like thoughts? Like first quarter was like impressive, whatever. Like what did you think of the game?
Just as a football fan in general, it was a great Super Bowl compared to past ones we've had. Like I thought it was a great game back and forth overall. First quarter, like I thought the Rams were about to blow out, to be honest. Like until Odell went down with injury, I was like, they're just gonna start just gunslinging the ball.
Yeah.
I hate it for Odell. I mean, the same leg he injured already once with his ACL and stuff. It's just, not great. But the Bengals fought back, and like I think just big moments in general. I think one, given Odell going down with the injury was huge, just to kind of get the Bengals back with a chance. Because if he's playing, you can't guard him and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
But it clearly showed that once Odell went down, the other receivers for the Rams dropping balls, just stop running routes. Like that second pick by Stafford, his receiver just like stopped. He's like, nah, we're just going to give it to him. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what he was doing. But in the second half for me, the biggest moment I think, honestly, was when Aaron Donald pushed Joe Burrow out of bounds, which was a clean hit. He was still in bounds by a couple yards. The fact that when they went on the sideline, the refs didn't throw any personal fouls for the whole Bengals lineup was just wailing at Aaron Donald's face at that moment. You can't piss off Aaron Donald. When they pissed him off, I was at a watch party. I said, he's going to eat. He's going to feast now. Like this, he went from like, I'm Aaron Donald to you're all done. Like this is mine. That moment right there, just, I was like, oh God, no, like you shouldn't have done that. And then Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp last drive of the game, man, like 15 plays. And Cooper Kupp literally is just like, give me the rock. I got this. Like, does not matter. Given Eli Apple got roasted, not just in the game, but oh my God.
This guy can't
everything
catch a
about that
break.
since this game. I know. I feel slightly bad for him, but at the same time, it's like, bro, I don't know. Those are my biggest things. I don't know about yours, but also like the refs, in my opinion, there were a couple questionables, but they also missed a fair bit. They missed that first touchdown for Cincinnati in the second half, the biggest face mask yank in my entire life I've seen. But you miss some, you get some. Overall, though, great game in my opinion for sure.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing too was after that. I think the second half was a completely different game. Like the first half, Odell goes down. Matthew Stafford's still trying to figure. That's a huge adjustment. Like every ball they threw to Van Jefferson was for Odell, and like you could tell the impact Odell had on this team. He's a number one somewhere. Like he might not be the number one on a championship team, but he's still got it. Hopefully after this injury, God willing, I don't know if we found out what it was exactly, ACL, MCL, whatever.
It was a torn ACL. They did confirm it that it was the ACL.
We hope that. I mean, ACLs nowadays aren't the same type of injury as they were 10 years ago. So knock on wood, he comes back because he even came out after, was it before the Super Bowl, after saying I'm down to have a discount, give the Rams a discount if I get to stay in LA. I think this is his home.
Yeah.
I think he really likes Cooper Kupp. He doesn't have to do as much. New York, he was the guy. And Cleveland, he was supposed to be the guy, and Baker Mayfield was just no. And just screwed that whole situation up. But going into the second half, I mean, my mom's not the biggest sports person. She doesn't really get it. But she could just look at Aaron Donald and know that dude's a different type of human being. And the minute whoever the number 70 something like 8, I think was the first guy that hit Aaron Donald.
Yeah.
She goes, I don't need to watch the rest of the game. They won. Like the Rams won. And I was like, okay, that's a bold statement. The Rams were good enough, even with the missed calls, that they needed that win. Like they are good enough to overcome those calls. So I wasn't feeling like, oh, that was a blatant pass interference. Like they should have called it. Like, yes, but the Rams are still good enough to win that game.
Yeah.
Like they could be tied, whatever. They did need to win that game. I have to admit though, like it's the push from the push on Aaron Donald's face. And then honestly, I think it was the third and goal on that 15-play drive. I think it was before when it was the
first
pass interference. That was not a pass interference.
The hold. The first one was the hold.
Oh, the hold. That was not a hold.
It was a very light hold. He held Jersey but let go, but it was very light, like coin flip it either way. I was very surprised by it, but like watching the replay, I was like, okay, I could see how the ref in the game moment could call it because like he held Jersey for a bit, but then let go.
But like I also feel like I've seen that play happen. I feel like I've seen that play happen 1,000 times, and that was just like the if it was 8 out of 10 times they weren't going to call anything. That was one of the 2 times that they called.
They also did miss a pass interference by the Rams in the first half.
They did.
The goal line, the one they did that was more of a hold than the hold they called.
Yeah,
but I said, both sides had calls for them. Both sides had calls that weren't for them. So you can't leave it up to the refs to decide the game.
Right.
We've always said that. We've always said that in every sport. You can't leave it up to officiants to determine if you're going to win or lose. Because if you're doing that, you want to make it where you can win or lose.
And I think why that was so crucial. And like, there's this person I follow on TikTok and Twitter. Her name is like Any Anger or something like that. She's like does these like football memes after every game. Yeah. She even said like in that video, like the refs came in at like the last minute and then started throwing flags. Like they had how many flags in the last 2 minutes? But like how many throughout the whole game?
Yeah.
So like they missed a bunch, but then they got flag happy. And I think that point where that hold was called, whether it was or wasn't, I could see it going either way. It took all the momentum Cincinnati just had. I believe that was a 4th down. They were not going to score a touchdown. I truly believe Probably it, not. And this game is a completely different outcome. But I think regardless, prior to that point, it was going to come down to Joe Burrow and Aaron Donald. Like that was the way the game needed to end. Like it had to. So even if it was a 4th down and they didn't convert, Aaron Donald make a stop. It was going to be the same result. So am I happy for the Rams? Absolutely. But I think that call was a very generous one. I feel like it goes either way, but like I wouldn't have thrown it. But I mean, you can't be mad. Jamar, like Joe Mixon throwing the ball to T. Higgins, like on that fake run, like they played a hell of a game, Cincinnati. They were playing with house money the whole time. They felt comfortable enough. And like when Joe Burrow went down with that injury, and there was reports after that said like he told the medical staff, he said, "Don't look at me. Like I'm going to play." Yeah. This guy's
him
gonna
and
be
Stafford
around.
Both. When they both went down, like just let me go back. Like I'm not coming out of this game. Like
he's like, I'm fine. Like Joe Burrow was limping off and like was about to start crawling, and like he was just like, I'm good. Like these are the people we're like looking at, and Joe Burrow at least is going to be in the league for a very long time. I mean, the AFC is stacked, and like we could talk about that later, but this kid is different. Like this kid did this with no offensive line. What if he had like one person that could like buy him a second against Aaron Donald? Jamar Chase was open down that side.
That last play of the game,
he was wide. Oh my God. So if you had one
open.
person that could just like push him and he could just lob it up. I mean, he's the one that coined the phrase like "fuck it, Lamar's down there somewhere." Like that's a different game.
There's no one in the earth right now that can 1v1 Aaron Donald. It is what it is.
I mean,
you
can't
1v1.
Retirement. That's retirement might win.
Yeah, that's really the only thing. That might be the only thing. I mean, that dude is a beast. Also, there's a couple other things that like smaller things I noticed. One, when after the pass interference on the goal line where they got the ball on the Rams before they scored the touchdown to go ahead. I would have let Stafford run in at that point. Like, I get you're trying to stop. You're at the 1 yard line. You got 4 downs. Like, time is all. Like, you got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. That's the debate of, do you let them score so you have more time in? Like, I know you don't want to let them score, but like, it's the 1 yard line, 4 chances.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp's going to get the ball eventually. It just the chances of you stopping them 4 times on the 1 yard line, so unlikely. That and
You're
then
right.
Mixon wasn't the 3rd down and the 4th down, the last 2 plays of the game. Mixon was not in there for Cincinnati as their running back. They had their backup running back. It's just looking concerning. Like, was there a problem with him? Maybe. No, there's been no report that I've seen about it.
Right.
So I don't know if
haven't
he was
seen
hurt
anything.
or what, but like, it's just like, why is one of your better players not in there? But also, why run the ball on 3rd down? Like, I get you trying to swap it up, but you got to let Joe Burrow run at that point. Joe Burrow has a better chance, in my opinion. But I don't know.
You're
Either
right.
way, game was great overall. I was much more enjoyable watching that than I have probably since the year I don't speak of being a Falcons fan. Yep. But
I didn't bring it up. I promised myself I
know.
I mean, and the thing with the Rams, honestly, and maybe this is like a good like segue into like the next topic. Like, what does this team look like going into next season? Odell's out. I mean, they found their quarterback. Did you see on one? I think it was the second to last play on that 15-play drive when Cooper Kupp got hit to the head. And
he got destroyed.
But who was the first person that went to that corner? Matthew Stafford went up and was in his face like, who the hell do you think you are? I mean, they found their guy.
Yeah.
They have their quarterback. Yeah. This team going forward, if everyone, like Robert Woods comes back, Odell comes back similar to where he's been, if Aaron Donald decides to stay, what is Von Miller going to do? I mean, Whitworth, they have people in the pipeline that could come in for Whitworth. But, like, if this team could stay somewhat intact, I mean, this team is coming – like, this team could run it back. I get what happened with the Bucs and they didn't. But this team has too much firepower. And the NFC with, like, teams that aren't the same, the Bucs aren't the same.
Yeah.
What happens with the Packers, we don't know. I mean, the Cowboys are allergic just like the Falcons are to a lead in the Super Bowl. Like,
Yep.
Sorry, I had to. Like,
it's okay. I understand.
It's a very easy path. Kyler Murray, just all of a sudden they're having drama with him. Like, this team,
there's so much
can come back. It's more possible than the Bucs, I think. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Free agency is going to be really big this year because I mean, like you said, like Odell, he's out. He's with his injury. He's probably going to be back late October, early November. If he's with the Rams, which is a system he already knows very well, clearly, that would be massive. But do the Rams want to re-sign him? Are they going to give him a hometown discount just because he played there, or like what? But I think it really just depends because I mean, if Russell Wilson gets traded to a contender, like there's so much talks of the Bucs going for him or Deshaun Watson. Watson's just like, I mean, the dude can play, but how much off the field drama do you want?
Also, how much is he going to be able to play if this guy gets convicted?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah,
you're screwed.
There's so many things. I think it really matters is if Rodgers stays at Green Bay, I think the whole NFC it's a totally different story for teams. But if Rodgers leaves, then who knows? Because at that point, it really depends, like what teams have quarterbacks. Because right now, Tampa Bay doesn't have a quarterback. The Saints don't have a quarterback. They don't have a head coach really, even at this point. The Falcons have their quarterback, but we're the Falcons, so it's not too much. Carolina is just they're there.
Yeah,
that's about it. Arizona, they have a team, but like you said, what's up with Kyler Murray? Is it extra drama or is it just, clearly
they don't want to pay him?
Yeah,
they don't want to pay him, and they're calling this out.
So let's see what.
I mean,
you said, the Rams could run it back, but
San Francisco, they could do it.
It all depends on how Trey Lance is because they're trading Garoppolo. They've said they want to trade him before like March 18th or something. Where's he going to go? That's the other question. Where is he going to? If he ends up in Tampa Bay, could they run it back with him? Who knows? Like,
but what if like Aaron Rodgers, the other side of that? What if Aaron Rodgers is like, I want to go, or Russell Wilson?
Yeah,
I mean, that team could win the Super Bowl. Yeah,
it's going to be really interesting. Once because I don't know, this draft, there's not like that big name quarterback that's supposed to like right off the bat hit it.
Right.
But at the same time, there's this draft, in my opinion, for defensive is just stacked in so many positions. But at the same, like, who's going to take advantage of it? Because the Rams have no draft picks really, so they're not going to be. They're getting their stuff from free agency on who they have. So just going to be determined with the draft picks and stuff. But I don't know, it's going to be interesting because whoever comes out of the AFC again, they're going to be hard to beat. Like if Kansas City or the Chargers can make it out, those quarterbacks are good.
Oh yeah,
it's hard to beat against them.
It is very hard.
You said the Bengals can get an offensive line. Who knows? Who knows what can happen with an actual few studs that give Joe Burrow 0.5 seconds longer, a full second longer, like game changers at that point. But
I mean,
it's
if Josh Allen could call heads instead of tails, I mean, then Buffalo, right?
I didn't even say Buffalo. Yeah, Buffalo. Good God, I mean, Josh Allen, like. But also, I have to look to see how many of like the Bills who's in free agency there too. I don't think they have that many, but I could be wrong because that's another thing. Like, it all just depends who has money and whatnot.
It is. So. And I think like for the Rams specifically, like Matthew Stafford proved that he's that guy. That no look pass that he had to Cooper Kupp on that final drive, you can't make that crap up. Like
the chemistry was real. Like it has to be there 100% for you to make that throw.
And like I think those two could get you this team maximum, depending on what Aaron Donald does. I think that's the key piece. Like
that was my next question.
Is he coming back?
What do you think? Will he retire or not?
I don't get it. I don't get how he can retire. Like why? Like you just entered the conversation against LT. Why are you gonna stop now when you're this? Like he's not old, even for like a defensive. Like he's pretty young. Like you just entered the. Like you were approaching that conversation. You're in it. Why wouldn't you want to be over LT? Like that would be enough motivation for me. Give it 3 more years. You win another Super Bowl, you're good.
My thing with him is possibly like if he were to retire, and you just put his career versus LT's career, you could make the debate with that career. But if he has a bad season, does it tank that possibility? Like because right now, like the man, he's not missing all pro team basically ever.
Right,
like, the dude he's just a stud. Like. But if you have one bad season, does it take you out of that conversation? Like it's like J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt was unstoppable, but now that he's fallen off, he's still trying to play with through injuries and stuff. He went from being like one of the best. Like, look, he's still one of the best, but he's just a little bit lower now because of that continuously wanting to play. Which I get when you want to play, you want to play. But I think it's tough. Be Tom Brady.
I think it's tough because, like specifically with the J.J. Watt, he was doing things he shouldn't have been doing. Like his workouts, he was trying to be flashy, and that caused him the injury.
True.
I'm more so thinking like Khalil Mack. Like, Khalil Mack came out with this hype. He was like supposed to be because he's like an outside pressure guy on the quarterback. That's like the more comparable LT thing. I think if Aaron Donald does have a bad season, it would be like an average season for like everyone else. Like I don't know.
I agree.
I don't know how bad this guy could ever play to be like ever take him out of the conversation, because like you look at his peak and like he's in the middle and he's getting pressure on the quarterback in the way that's like unheard of. And like the Super Bowl was on the line. He gets that play. Like he gets
the third and the fourth down play.
Yeah, his legacy cemented. Like we're going to look at him and be like, he's at least, no matter what happens in the future, the second best. But I don't know, the winning a Super Bowl and retiring, like, unless you're like approaching the end of your prime, I don't see how you can do that. And I hope he doesn't, because I need to see some more Aaron Donald. And like my mom's saying that that's a bad mother lover. Like I need more of that. But it just doesn't make sense. Maybe it's like Whitworth is going and he loves Whitworth and he wants to say like I'm done too. Yeah. But like I don't see it happening. Like I would put money that he doesn't retire than he does. I don't want to do it yet because you already took $10 from me, but I would.
I understand. Yeah. Now, since we're talking about Donald, do you think that Cooper Kupp should have deserved the MVP for Super Bowl or should have been Aaron Donald? Because I've heard this debate back and forth a lot already.
I think that's I really like that question. Aaron Donald I think it's like looking at the facts. Aaron Donald, the first 2.5 quarters was a jag, like at best. I think that's pretty generous. Like he was getting pressure, but he wasn't making his impact.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp in the
especially
first,
compared to how we thought he would.
right. We thought this guy was going to take over the game. I mean, maybe it's a different situation if Odell doesn't go down, then it's less pressure on the defense. I think even Cooper Kupp in the first half was just a guy too. I think Odell took over in the first quarter and like a little into the second before his injury.
Cooper Kupp, the first half, I think both of them basically played their role of we're going to take 2 to 3 defenders or offensive linemen, and the other people have to make the plays because we are double, triple teamed.
1,000%. Like Von Miller, the first half was unstoppable, but like everyone
Von
was
Miller
going
and Floyd. Oh my God, both. Yeah, both of them were just like we're gonna feast.
So I think like the most consistent, and maybe this is my bias, maybe I think if you are able to say Cooper Kupp should be MVP, you have to say Matthew Stafford is. And I think the question is Matthew Stafford or Aaron Donald. And I would still I think Matthew Stafford gets it because this guy, I mean, he was facing it. Like Cincinnati was getting pressure on their running game. They couldn't run the ball for crap. Odell, your real number 2 wide receiver goes down. People are dropping balls. I get the 2 interceptions. Let's call it what it is. One guy literally, it went through his hands. He should have caught it. That's not his fault.
One pass should never happen. He should not have thrown that towards the end of the first half.
But even that ball
was
like
so
a punt.
underthrown.
That's a punt, and that's like
true.
giving your guy a chance. And like, what if he comes down with it? He has 4 to like 1 interception. Like, it was a 50. I don't blame him for that.
Yeah, no.
Like, it's okay.
He can make that throw 2 yards further every time. It was just so underthrown. It just made it look so bad in my opinion. But yes, you are right. Basically, it was a punt. Second half first half was almost over, so it wasn't.
So
the
like
worst.
his interceptions weren't him, and I feel like interceptions should have a new category of like the wide receiver's
100%.
fault than like the quarterback.
Yeah,
but he was still playing.
I've always
game.
thought that
He was playing his game the first half, like to the point where we thought they were going to blow open this league. And then that's last drive. I mean, you can't that no look pass and that back shoulder to Cooper Kupp. Based off of those 2 throws alone, like I get Cooper Kupp is making the play, but like Matthew Stafford has to deliver that ball perfectly. And he did twice when the game mattered. And he was playing great in the first and second half. In my opinion, I think it should have been Matthew Stafford. But if we're going to keep it to Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald, I mean, it's a flip of a coin. I would probably choose Donald because like Matthew Stafford's giving the ball to Cooper Kupp. It could be an indictment on him, but I mean, you can't. I mean, they all 3 of them. I would even throw Odell if he was fine, like for the whole game. Like that, we would have a 4-person MVP conversation. I mean,
100%.
It's a tough one. I don't know. What do you think, Matthew? Like, was the Matthew Stafford thing kind of weird for you to hear?
No, so it's reasonable because one, he is a quarterback, so it makes sense to put him on the conversation.
Okay.
I was looking through a couple of things today, and apparently, once the 2-minute warning happens, the people who vote for the MVP, they start to tally their votes at that point. So part of it, I think, was the fact that Aaron Donald wasn't on the field until like the last 3 seconds, and a lot of votes were already put in, which kind of screwed him. Which one, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you just wait till the end of the game? There's going to be plenty of time to give them the trophy afterwards. They're going to be celebrating with confetti for an hour before anyway. So it's like, why rush? But
you're right.
It's tough for me because one, yes, Aaron Donald made such an impact those last 2 plays. I mean, he won them the game. And while, yes, I definitely think he could have been MVP, my biggest thing that made Cooper Kupp, in my opinion, the MVP was that 4th and 1 they had, the draw play where he went outside basically as a running back and juked out 2 defenders to get the first down. Yeah. That play was huge because at that point he hadn't done too much. He had made some catches. He had his touchdown stuff. But he hadn't made like the play that made him the Triple Crown winner for the season. And even though it wasn't even a pass, they gave their best player on offense the ball. They said, take this ball and get 1 yard, do what you have to do. And like they could have, if it was a throw, different scenario because that's more Stafford throwing. But with it being a draw play, basically, and him having to run for it, once he got the first down, it was just give Kupp the ball. Every play basically was give Kupp the ball. And I think it also depends. If Odell's healthy the whole game, I think it probably goes to Donald because then you're splitting passes between Odell and Kupp. But once Odell got hurt, it was clear no one besides Kupp could get the ball. Like it had to be Kupp.
That's a great point.
Or it was hitting the ground.
That's a great point.
I think just because of how important Kupp was, even though yes, Stafford was throwing the ball, if it's not like if Stafford threw the ball to Odell and Kupp, Stafford. But because it had to go to Kupp for them to win it, I think that's the reason why he got it.
Dude, that's a great point.
But
I
like
didn't
you
think
said,
of it that way.
Yeah.
Flip
of a coin, either one, Donald or Kupp. But because of how important Kupp was to the team and the fact that he was the only one who was showing he could catch the ball on the final drive of 15 plays, basically.
Yeah.
I would have to go back and look, but I would say he probably touched the ball 11 or 12 out of the 15 plays.
Oh, 100%.
With
100%.
2 of them being incompletions, with one where he caught and they got absolutely decked for a touchdown or called back because there was
he was
flags
definitely
on both
concussed.
sides. Like,
there's no way this guy was not concussed.
Oh,
when he was talking at the end of the game,
100%.
I'm thankful for this opportunity. I was like,
yeah,
he's asleep.
He was done. But yeah,
dude, that's a great point.
Yeah, that's I think that's part of why they had him as Kupp, or had it as Kupp.
Now, it was a very like Deebo Samuel type of performance.
Yeah,
I felt like from Kupp.
Yeah.
He showed that different ability, especially on that play that you were talking about that kind of defined it for him for MVP. Like when he tucks his head down, I just see Deebo Samuel and like his ability to just like want the contact and go through it. And Cooper Kupp is smaller than Deebo. I think you switched me low key on the MVP thing because if Cooper Kupp wasn't catching those balls, Matthew Stafford was not going to make anything happen. Yeah. And like I'm the first to admit that. You know,
if Cooper Kupp doesn't catch those balls, the Bengals win the game. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
Like because no one else was going to. Like, let's see if I can. I wonder. Like, I just want to see how many passes maybe the last drive he'll have. I'll look it up while we're doing other stuff. But outside the game, but while in the game, halftime show. Just a little quick about it. Let's not be too long. Oh my god. Whew.
This was me the whole time, bro. I was just like, okay.
I was so happy. This is a halftime show right here.
When I saw 50 come out and like everyone was saying like, oh, he's bigger because of inflation, I cried. I was just like, dude, this is everything I listened to.
I was like, this is so good. It was so good. I wish it was longer. I was like, come on, give Eminem more time. I was like, I just felt like he needed more time, but.
And I feel like the last thing to point out about the halftime show, Eminem is such a stud. The NFL told him not to take a knee, and he says, and takes the knee anyways. I was like, Eminem does not have any regard for humankind. Like, he doesn't care who you are. Yeah. You hired me, I'm going to do what the hell I want to do. It was amazing. Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, Mary J did her thing. Kendrick, I was just like, how did he's just like the third wheel, I guess, to it. Like
Kendrick, they were like, we just need someone a little young. Just throw in there. I mean, I love me some Kendrick, don't get me wrong, but I was like, you're not quite the same generation, but the song came out what 10, 12 years ago, so it wasn't the worst thing. It also made me feel a little old. I was like, oh my god, these songs are old. Like,
I was in middle school when he was like big. Like, I was in middle school. That's insane. No, great halftime show all around. Great game, great halftime show. I mean, people are coming out of this saying that Cooper Kupp's the new number 1 receiver in the league. I think that's kind of a generous statement. I don't know.
I mean, it's generous, but it's fair at the same time. Like, it all just depends. But I mean, either way, he had one of the best seasons ever for a wide receiver. Right. I can't find the exact catches he had. Yeah, I can't find the exact catches he had on that last drive. But I mean, there's a lot of other people had catches, but for the most part, it's very short catches comparative to him. But
I mean, I feel like we need to look at the other side of it too. Like Cincinnati, like that team. Like let's just talk about them as a whole real quick. Like that team was not supposed to be there.
They weren't. They were not supposed to be there.
What did they prove to you?
I don't know if it was necessarily proved, but like I think part of it was a bit of luck. But at the same time, like the AFC is so stacked with young quarterbacks. I think you could really say, one of 4 or 5 quarterbacks could have made it to the Super Bowl, and you would have been like, he's a solid quarterback. I definitely think Joe Burrow has showed that he's gonna be there for a while. I just, will it be again next year? I don't know, because how much were they riding that Cinderella story, including their kicker? Like their kicker did nothing to Super Bowl. Like I get they don't have chances for it, but like their kicker was a beast. Like you gotta use all your weapons, and I just feel like I would have gone for a long field goal at some point if I was one of the two teams. Just be like, 3 more points can win us the game, but at the same time, you don't make it, then it's a totally different ballgame. But I definitely think the Bengals are still they're gonna be a threat for a while, especially because they still have some good draft picks. Like they're given it's not a high up draft pick now, but they still have their draft picks.
They're 50 million under the cap too.
Yeah, they have so much on the cap. If they bolster that offensive line a fair bit, get they don't get some more defenders, I guess, because I mean you got your receivers, you got your running back, you got your QB. Get another pass rusher, it never hurts. I was a little surprised though, given Jamar Chase was destroying whoever was guarding him every time, but he only had 5 receptions the whole game. Like I feel like they needed to give him the ball more. That was my other thing. Like if he had the ball a few more times, like I guess yes, Higgins had some big plays, but like I feel like you got to get your man the ball more if you want to win the game. Give it to your best player.
Did you see that catch down the sideline in the first half when he dove out for it and he got Ramsey? I mean, this guy's a stud, and only to get the ball 5 times. Stud. I think that's more of an indictment on the coaching staff. I think the players were ready. Yeah. I mean, except for Eli Apple, because who cares, right?
Yeah.
And when you said defenders, get rid of Eli Apple. Find someone else.
Jamar Chase, he was targeted 8 times, only caught the ball 5 times, but still, like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I'm just looking like Joe Mixon had six targets for 5 receptions for a total of 1 yard. Like, why? It's not working. Why still? Yeah, like 1 or 2 of those go to Jamar Chase. Given like last play could have been a totally different story, but at the same time, there was still time. There was still time. Stafford could have ran it back. Who knows?
Right.
But it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the offseason with how they can get better players to replace the few spots they needed.
I think their coaching staff, though, again, they cost them the game. They weren't utilizing Jamar Chase enough. They weren't I get it was a short game, and I like the short game passes that they were doing to get rid of the ball so Burrow doesn't get hurt. But that last drive, let them score. That you're only going to be down 4 points. You need time instead of pressure.
Yeah,
let them score. Yeah. Okay, they get a new set of downs. Okay, let them in. You're not going to stop Cooper Kupp if you give him 4 more tries. And we know where the ball's going.
Especially once they get to the 1 yard line.
Yeah. Call us. Give it up. You score. I have 2.5 minutes. You get the 2-minute warning. You have 2 timeouts left. You can make a play.
All 3 timeouts. If they let them score that, they used one when Matthew Stafford ran it and didn't make it. When he ran the ball and they didn't let him in, I said this game's over because that blew a good 30 seconds off plus a timeout. I was just like, I get you don't want them to score, but it's so hard to stop at the 1 yard line. Like they could have just put Aaron Donald in the backfield as a fullback and said, "Hi, we're running the ball in."
I don't know. I think, and maybe this is moving forward. I was listening to Stephen A. Smith, who I just think is the funniest person. He's right there. He brought up a good point. They don't spend money well. So this team might not get better. We're assuming they're going to take care of their offensive line, but
what if they don't do it? What happens if they don't? Yeah.
Joe Burrow still do it? I think he still could, but the Chiefs are going to get better. Lamar Jackson is going to get his team healthy. He's going to be healthier. Josh Allen, Joe Herbert, I mean, you could even make the case for a team who is on the outside looking in Tennessee. Maybe they get someone else, or Denver.
I've seen some trade proposals where Tennessee. Yeah, I was gonna say I've seen proposals where Tennessee gets Aaron Rodgers as well. At that point, you take So I mean, there's so many options. I also saw some memes that in 2 years, Joe Burrow is going to look like Andrew Luck. No offensive line, just getting hit so much, and I was like, oh. Which is true. If he doesn't get off offensive line, he just
Cincinnati will burn to the ground if that happens. If they allow that to happen, Joe Shiesty to retire because he's been beat up, that place is gonna fall. And who's gonna want to play there at that point? They have to make it work. True. But they've shown that they don't. So we'll see. This is gonna be, like you said, a great offseason of free agency and just trades and moves all around. And Even then, we
there's so
still
many that are
don't know
going to
what's
happen.
going to happen. Like, we still have zero clue who's the front runner of the league. The AFC stacked.
Yeah.
The NFC has a few powerhouses. It's going to be a great season next year.
Yeah. If you were to tell me right now, pick who wins next year, I'd rather wait. I'd rather wait a month. But it is what it is. However, I did want to ask you this because I know you're a big LeBron fan, and I don't know if you've seen his tweet. The tweet he put out yesterday or today, whenever, about how the Rams, the Lakers, and the Dodgers are all throw a parade together for their championships because the Lakers and the Dodgers didn't get to have theirs in 2020. I was about to punch my phone when I saw this. What are your thoughts? Before I say mine, what are yours? Because you're the LeBron fan.
LeBron needs to shut up.
Let's hear yours before.
You are, I think, a little below 500 right now. I think they're a game or two behind. The Dodgers just won. The Rams just won 2 days ago.
Hey, I mean, Braves just won. Braves just won.
Forgive me. I mean, it's more recent than the Lakers. Like, if the Rams said this, I think that's different. Like, I feel like that has a different context. Like, let's all do it for the city of LA. Okay. I mean, like, if you want to do the history of every city, then, like, you could go 10
if it
years
had all
on
happened this year, if it had all been this year, whatever.
Different.
But the fact that, one, it was past years, the Dodgers are in a lockout right now, so they're not really talking with nobody.
Right.
And your team. Let's see, where's the standing? I froze when I looked at the scoreboard, saw the 76ers got walloped by the Celtics, 135-87.
Okay. I mean, wait till James Harden comes back. Yeah, we'll be fine.
But no. So let's see. The Lakers are,
I believe,
they're
26-31.
They're 26-31. They're ninth.
Okay.
You have no room to talk about parade.
Just shut up. Don't enjoy 50 cents.
Those words should not speak. Yeah.
Just dance.
Those words should not speak in your mouth. Like, just no. I'm glad you're not like, yes, because we would have had some words.
I mean, it would be a cool idea if they all won it.
It would be a great idea.
And even if the Rams were the ones to say it, like if the Rams were the ones.
That's the other thing. Yeah. Anyone but LeBron saying that, it's a different conversation. But LeBron, you have your problems already. You have to
figure out what to do with Russell Westbrook, not a parade. Just figure out how to get this guy to do what you need.
Yeah.
I mean, you
also,
made no
most
trades.
Most of your team from 2020 when you won is not on your team anymore, LeBron. Like,
they're
who
on
would
the
it
Wizards.
be? You and AD down in the parade by yourselves? Like, there's just you might have one or more, but it's just. Like,
I mean, half of them are on my team, the Wizards. Like what? I wish it was anyone but LeBron that said it, but like, it's a cool idea in theory. Maybe like that's a great idea for a team that could win.
I mean, at this point, you might as well just have the Braves and Bulldogs do it. Yeah, Braves and Bulldogs. We already had our own, but you might as well have another one. Why not? Screw it. We can bring back United. It was a couple years ago, but if we're doing that at this point,
I mean, that might have to be. I mean, the World Cup is coming up, bro. Like, we're gonna have a good time.
Oh, I can't wait for those. I can't. So MLS is back soon. It's coming up. I'm excited for more sports because right now football's done. We got basketball, and we have the Olympics that no one's watched. So,
who's gonna watch the stupid curling thing? I mean, you said it. I mean, there's 25 games left in the basketball season, bro. We're about to enter the All-Star break.
Let's talk about some basketball on that nice little segue real fast. Do you think it's a big deal that Harden is quote unquote still injured and won't be back till after the All-Star break, or do you think it's just kind of whatever?
I think it's whatever, but only for the reason that he's never, if he doesn't even make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, his legacy, his career is over. Like, I truly believe that. He's playing for his legacy right now. If they don't make it far and he wants to leave again, who's gonna want him? He's a bust, whatever. I think, James, the minute I see you on the court, you better be ready to win. If you're not ready, do what you got to do before. After the All-Star break, you come back. But like, once you're on the court, I don't want to hear that your hamstring is coming back. I want you to be there for Joel Embiid. You forced your way out again. You say after you get traded, Philly was the number one spot, not the Nets. Whatever. Get your shit together. Figure your life out. Come back, and you better be ready. If he doesn't, I think Ben Simmons might be the new hero. Philadelphia because those Philly fans are not going to take that. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
So here, like you said, I think it's kind of whatever. But what I do find interesting was I have to confirm this, but I saw somewhere today that they were saying James Harden didn't opt in of his opt-in opt-out contract in time. So technically, after this year, he could leave again and not be a problem, which I find interesting because one, if they're your top pick, why would you not sign that right off the bat?
Right.
So it's kind of like it's like, okay, is your foot really in the door, or are you kind of half out already at the same time? Kind of like, well, if we lose, we lose, and I can leave again. So, like you said, when he gets on the court, I need to see them play. But I mean, they just got destroyed by Boston tonight, and that was he wasn't playing, but he was there, and there was a difference. The Nets, when they had Ben Simmons there last night, given it was Curry who was helping him out, but they snapped their losing streak of 11 games. So one team gets a dub with their new player, one team doesn't. So it's like, I don't know. Harden has to step up big, but I've seen so many different reports now and stuff about the problems the Nets were having, including like the biggest one I saw was the fact that Harden was disagreeing with Durant and the coaching staff of how to run the team's offense. Like Durant and the coaching staff wanted more free-flowing pass, shoot. When Harden was like, no, I want the ball. I don't feel like Embiid's going to like that.
I don't know.
Because, here's my thing. Like, while, yes, Embiid wants a ring, but, like, if Harden's keeping the ball and Embiid's not touching the ball, they're not going to win, in my opinion, because Embiid has to be a big part of those wins. So I just think if Harden is being real selfish, they're not going to make it. But I need to see a couple games with them together playing to see what it really means and see how they really react. But
I think James Harden too has shown when he first went to Brooklyn, that narrative of like he's not a team guy. Like he showed that he was. I think in order for Philly to be successful, he needs to be selfish. And I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
Okay.
But like this is going to be the next like Kobe Shaq type situation. Not saying they will be or eclipse that. But like Kobe was Kobe and Shaq was Shaq and they made it to 4 or whatever it was. Like this has the potential of that. Now my question is, how is James going to use the other pieces around him? He's going to defer to him. Yeah. That's his city. If he does it, the Philly would like flip out on him. He has to be. I would like to think he's not that stupid. But how are you going to use Maxey? How are you going to use Tobias Harris? How are you going to use what's the other guy's name? Maxey. It's the
drawing a blank as well now.
Thybulle. Matisse Thybulle. How are you going to use those guys? That's going to be your 5.
Yeah.
And then Embiid. Embiid's going to get his. Harden, you're going to get his. How are you going to include? Because Joel's going to take it up sometimes. Harden's going to take it up. They're going to run the pick and roll. But are you going to take it every time and like just play U2 ball? Or are you guys going to play kick it out? Harden brings the space to have Embiid do his thing and Harden do his. But what are the other people going to do? That's my concern with the Sixers right now.
Fair. No, that's very fair for sure. Going out of the East, though, the Nuggets, they're most likely getting Murray and Porter Jr. back very soon. That is massive, in my opinion. Massive.
Huge.
And from your reaction, I agree. You agree completely from the looks of it.
I mean, it depends on how Murray comes back. I really think that's the
fair.
key.
That's fair.
Because, I mean, he has
assuming he comes back how he was.
Him, let me tell you that his girlfriend, him and his girlfriend, they're having a great time. God bless them. Like they're doing their thing. He's gonna be ready to play. What is he gonna be like Clay? How long does it take for him to get back to what he was?
Yeah.
I mean, his streak in that playoffs, was it magic or was it real? We still don't know. Sure. We didn't get the answer yet. I don't know.
Yeah. Fair.
Memphis just won 121 to 109 against New Orleans.
Memphis, they're a good team. God, I'm just looking at these scores right now. Dallas beat Miami tonight.
That's big. That's big. But what do you think of the Nuggets?
Hawks.
Like you brought it up. What do you think the ceiling is?
I think if Murray can play how Murray played, when he last played, I think it throws a real big wrench in the West because that just bolsters their team so much. But like you said, it just depends how well. But I honestly think they're going to make a run again with them coming back. I see them. I don't know how far, but I think you'll see some upsets with the Nuggets now. I think you'll see. It might take a little bit, but I mean, because they're where are they? Let's see where they're at in the standings.
I think they were 6 when I last checked.
Nuggets are 6. So yeah, so you can't. I don't really think you can push in the top 3, but if you can get yourself to 4 or 5, you could. It will be interesting. It just depends who their matchups are.
Very early, but what do you think their ceiling is? Are you saying like they come out of the West? Is that what you're thinking? Or
no, I don't. I think if they don't run into Utah or Golden State, yes, I think they could beat Phoenix, but I think Golden State or Utah could beat them. So it just depends on the matchup. Hot take, maybe, yeah, maybe. I think if it's Denver versus Phoenix, I could see if Murray's healthy and Murray's how Murray is. But if he's not, then so it all just depends on who they face.
Dude, what the hell are you talking about? I have to be honest.
Listen,
I don't know who are you, dude. Phoenix just picked up some backup bigs that's gonna stop Joker. I think if anyone, I'm more worried for like Phoenix Nuggets matchup than I am again. Like the Warriors, like they could lose to the Nuggets if they have everyone back and they have the shooting. I mean, if Jamar comes back like the same way, Aaron Gordon's still there, Michael Porter, like dude, I'm more. But to say that the Phoenix Suns you're not concerned about, what the heck are you talking about?
Okay, maybe not concerned was the right word, but I don't know. I just feel like out of the top 4 teams, Phoenix, Warriors, Memphis Grizzlies, and Utah's Jazz, I'm more worried for Phoenix and Memphis than Golden State and Utah. That's just how I'm feeling at the very moment. Given a week from now, 2 weeks from now, it could be different. But with Clay shooting, how Clay's shooting now and stuff, it's just, I don't know. It's just, I just feel like, it's a feeling. I could be completely wrong. It's possible. Who knows?
I mean, I want to put money on it. Like, I really, 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 really want to. Like,
that's fair.
Because okay. Like, let's call it. They make it to the Western Conference, play. Like, they make it to the Western Conference Finals. Are you thinking they make it to there, or are you thinking they get bounced before that?
I could see them. I think I could see it. It's not 100%, not 100%, but I could see it. Like if they can get the right matchups, it all depends. If they can somehow move up to 4, if they could go on a little run and get to 4, the 4 seed, I could see it. But it's
write this
tough,
down. I'm gonna say it. They're a first round bounce. First round bounce. $10.
Okay.
$10 from now. They're not gonna make it past the first round. I will. Even them finishing 6th, them finishing 4th. They won't make it out of it.
Okay.
I love Joker.
Do you think if they get stuck in the play-in, do they make it out of the play-in?
Oh. Because right now the play-in is the Lakers or the.
Right now play-in would be Minnesota, Clippers, Lakers, and Portland.
And this is way too early to tell. Let's see what happens with Kawhi. Let's see what happens with Paul George. I don't think they make it out of the play-in.
So you think no matter where they get their first, they're out. They're out.
I think so.
Okay. Wow.
$10 from now. Okay. I don't know what's going to happen, but I am more concerned about everyone else in the West.
I just need them to win either one game or one series, and I make $10.
I mean, all I need them to do is lose one game, and I win $10. So I mean.
Yeah, that's fair.
But also,
listen,
I really think the Nuggets shown who they were, and their window is closed. I don't know.
Okay.
I just don't see how they could do it. This situation, they need another superstar like the Joker, and not like Jamal, who's like great but not at that same level. It needs to be someone equivalent.
Okay.
So that's my thoughts. I mean, it's either gonna bite me in the ass or I'm gonna make my Super Bowl money back.
I like it. We like the spicy picks. We like to see.
We have to spice it up.
Agreeing with each other. Agreeing with each other the whole time is boring. That's boring.
But also, this was a fundamentally thing because you said Arizona's not DeAndre Ayton will chew the Joker out, like eat him alive. So
we'll see. I don't know. I've always liked the Nuggets. The Nuggets are for me. I don't know. It's just fun to watch them. They're a fun basketball team.
Oh yeah,
But
100%.
let's see.
What
I
else
don't
going
know.
on?
I mean, really, you don't really have much other sports right now. Like Major League Baseball, I'm really hoping this lockout
You
ends.
need to explain this to me because I don't get this new rule. Universal DH, designated hitter. What the heck is that? What is the draft lottery looking like? I mean, there's so much. Like, give me the
So
MLB
the problem
for
right now
dummies.
is So the problem right now is none of it's fully official yet. Nothing's been confirmed happening because they're in lockout. So you got the players union and the owners basically just arguing back and forth, trying to, we'll give you this if you take this, back and forth. And the players union is supposed to have another proposal in the next day or two because spring training is coming up soon. But the biggest things right now would be universal DH, which basically make it where no pitchers would hit for so instead of the American League having DH and the National League having pitchers hit, no pitchers would hit, which makes it's big for National League because then you can have another hitter not have to play on the field. So if you have a crap defender, just put him in DH.
Okay.
The lottery, I haven't looked too much into it, but I think it would just more or less cause tanking to be less of a problem. But I could be wrong. I have to look because the NBA draft lottery tanking is real hardcore. But at the same time, like you're not guaranteed the first pick.
Right.
So if it ends up how it's like the NBA, then it could be interesting because then all right, you 6 teams are real bad. Well, you might be the worst, but you're still getting the 6th pick. So who knows? But there's still so much back and forth for pay, like trying to get more money for players, and whatnot. And I don't know. I have to look way more into it once the players' union reports back in the next day or two, hopefully, to get a more concrete of what's happening. Which we'll talk more in depth in the next podcast about it.
But the universal designated hitter, that's approved. That's going to happen next
year. That the commissioner announced it his last speech he had. He announced that in the draft lottery, and I don't think it's everyone wants it, so I think it will happen for sure. I just don't know if it's been officially approved yet because since they're still on lockout, they haven't actually approved of any terms from both sides. But I think that definitely will happen, which it's going to be weird for me not seeing pitchers hit, but at the same time, with the Braves, how their lineup is right now, I'm okay with it because we got some people I want to keep, but we don't have enough room on the field for them. So I'm okay with the universal DH because we got some mammoth home run hitters right there. Put Slayer in the DH, he'll hit that ball out of the park. He will hit. We've seen it. Houston saw it firsthand.
I mean,
God, that home run still. Goosebumps.
I think that's an interesting rule, and we definitely need to dive more into MLB because now baseball's not happening or football's not happening. We just got basketball. Spring season is going to come up, so there's going to definitely be more baseball. Also, shout out Greg Thomas because we are going to get into some racing. We don't know what the hell that is, but
I know a little bit, but
if you want us to talk about something, put them in the comments and we'll learn for you guys. We'll find the reason why we hate each other for it, and then we'll fight for you guys.
More than happy to watch sports I don't watch too often. You want racing, you want other things, just tell me what you want. Tell us what you want. I'm more than happy to watch tape, whatever need be.
Absolutely.
Especially right now, there's not much on. There's not much on.
There's not much on. I mean, I had a class today and the professor's like, I want everyone to prepare themselves for this sad time where there's no football on Sundays. What do we do on Sundays? It's a real thing. So now give us stuff and, we'll figure it out. I just want to say this because I'm a Nats fan. Ryan Zimmerman just announced his retirement after 16 years.
I did see that.
Hell of a guy, hell of a player. He was awesome for the city. I love that dude. He got me into baseball and I remember going to see him when I was super young and he brought a championship to the city and the dude deserves it. So best of luck in him with his future endeavors, and I'm gonna miss him. It's
just a shame you're a Nats fan.
It's
just a shame you're a Nats fan.
So I guess I gotta root for whoever Atlanta's playing with against. I have to root for them now.
You still have Juan Soto. It's fine. You still have one of the best young players in the game. That's about it. That's about all you got. That's about all you got. That's all you got.
Other than that, we're just gonna pray for God.
Yeah, that's really all you got. But no, we got 2 more games until All-Star break for basketball, and then home stretch for that.
Yeah.
Then, but yeah, soccer should be back in, I want to say, a couple weeks, if that, for Major League Soccer at least.
Yeah.
I saw Mbappe had a crazy winner against Real Madrid in like the 94th minute day or something. Also, overseas soccer. More than happy to talk about soccer if people want us to.
I think that's what we're going to have to do because Champions League finals are coming up pretty soon.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I am more than happy to talk about that.
So there's going to be hell of like so much content, so much. I mean, we still have to get into James Harden not being picked by Kevin Durant the day of the trade. Like we have so much we still need to get into.
So much, but no, this one we had to go Super Bowl. We had to talk about it. Had to talk about the big game.
Yeah, 100%. So probably next one's gonna be baseball. More figuring out the things. Hopefully the report comes out. More basketball probably post All-Star break and see what happens with that. And more content to come. And we really appreciate you guys. Like the first podcast was like 24 hours notice, and you guys sat and listened, and like we really appreciate that. We didn't think it was going to even be like one person listening to it. So if you're if there's more than one person, we just want to say
thank you to everyone who listened to it. Thanks for not roasting us too much. I've got a few texts from people that know me. They're like, it wasn't half bad. I'm like, hey, listen, it's a start. We'll see what happens. If people like it, people like it. Yeah.
Text us. We love to hear good. Like we want to do what you guys. This is a phone call conversation that we had once a week. That we just wanted to talk sports. If we need to tailor our conversations for you guys to listen to, you want some content, you want some fights, you want the Nuggets not winning, give it to us. Well, you know us, and we can't wait to take this journey with you. So we just really appreciate you guys, and shout out to all of you.
And I can't wait to take more of Wadid's money. So.
And on that note, we're going to call it a day. So I don't lose any.
See you on the next one.
All right, guys. Peace.
Yep.